Right then, Dan's members, we're back out on the course. Snow's gone, back on main greens, trolleys permitted. Let's hope this stays good for the weekend and we get some good golf and some enjoyable golf. This week we're keeping it simple. Just a basic, how do we set up for a pitch stroke chip shot? For those of you that maybe feel a bit lost there and you just want a bit of guidance, this is for you. If you've got your own way of doing it and you feel you play good shots, maybe stick with what you're doing, but always worth a look. Nice simple setup. Let's take a look. Right then, Dan's members, chipping, pitching, setup. Like I say, we're going to keep it simple, something to start the year, some starting base from where you can maybe move on as the year progresses. So to keep it simple, we're talking width of stance and ball position. This isn't a long drive where I'm trying to hit it as far as I can. I do not need a wide base. I do not need to feel that I'm trying to be solid to try and create coil and power as we may perceive it. This is a finesse, this is a touch shot. For this, all I need is a relatively narrow stance. You can see here my heels maybe 2-3 inches apart, and I'm going to position that ball somewhere in the center of my heels. My weight may be slightly favouring my left side, but no sort of serious side bends or anything like that. Just favouring my left side, and the shaft of the club just leaning marginally forwards. Again, no pushing. So often I sort of see things like this and ball position moving around. Narrow stance, ball in the middle, shaft slightly leaning forwards, and from here we're just going to try and get that swinging of the club head, freewheeling of the club head. You're going to let that club release naturally. But again, because there's a narrow stance, we're not going to get any contrived positions. So often, if you've got a wide stance like this and you think, oh, I'll move the ball back, all of a sudden you get into this position. And again, you're exposing different edges. Again, if that shaft is leaning too far forwards, you're going to expose this leading edge here. And again, if you're not very precise about your strike, you're going to be digging into the ground. Again, if you get it too exaggerated, the ball's flight's going to be very inconsistent and maybe fluctuate a bit depending on where you strike on the club face. And again, maybe you're then going to feel you're having to help the ball in sorts of situations. So let's start the season, keep it simple. If you're doing what you're doing and you think you're getting success, then maybe don't sort of go ahead with what I'm doing. But if you feel the start of the year's coming, you don't really know where you should be with your setup, just keep it simple. Heels fairly close together, 2 to 3 inches. Ball position in the middle of those heels. Shaft slightly leaning forwards, not too much shaft lean. And then just trying to feel, swinging that club head, brushing the grass opposite where that ball would be. Maybe later on we'll talk about moving that ball position slightly to create different shots and different trajectories and different flights. But even from this position, if I start moving that ball position back a little bit, we're not going too far away from what is standard anyway. Hope this helps. Something nice and clean for the start of the season with your chipping, pitching. Like and subscribe below. Keep loving the game. Let's hope this weather continues. Enjoy your golf.